Okay, get yourself ready for your restorative practice. Have a little bit of extra comfort on your mat. So just lay yourself on a blanket on top of your mat, and then just come to, I lost my phone, here it is. And then just come down onto the floor. Just bear with me a second. Have a bolster underneath your knees. Have the blocks underneath your feet, and have a folded blanket for underneath your head. And then just give yourself the opportunity to release. So if you can cover your eyes, darkness is better. So cover your eyes with a eye pillow if you can. Just make sure that everything's in the right place for you to relax. So don't be in a rush to find your resting position. Just allow yourself to release into the floor. Listen to the sound of your breath as it enters and as it exits. Just listening to the sound of your breath. Just allow the body to completely rest into the floor. Allow the muscles to relax. Just focus on how your body connects to the ground, how your body is supported by the floor. Draw your attention into the soles of your feet. So that the skin begins to tingle with consciousness. Drawing your attention into the soles of the feet and then relaxing the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bones of the soles of the feet. Draw your attention to the top of your foot. So the skin of the top of the feet becomes conscious. And then consciously relax the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone of the top of the foot. Draw your focus into your shins. And then soften the skin and the flesh and the bones of the fronts of the thighs, allowing the fronts of the thighs to sink into the bed of the calf muscle. Draw your attention into your thighs, allowing the fronts of your thighs to sink into the backs of your thighs. Let go of the pelvis, releasing the legs into the floor, and just sink the abdomen into the spine. Release the internal organs. Release the intercostal muscles around the ribs, relaxing the muscles around the shoulders, just allowing the upper body to sink into the floor. Consciously soften the shoulders, allowing your arms to release into the floor. Softening the arms, the upper arms and the lower arms and the palms. Release your arms into the floor, release your shoulders into the floor, relaxing the hands, and then release your neck into the floor. Soften the skin around the skull, stretching the forehead from the top of the head down to the chin. Relax the skin around the skull. Relax the eyeballs in the sockets. Relax the jawline by drawing the lower teeth away from the upper teeth. Just focusing on deep inhalations and long, slow, deep exhalations. Releasing into the floor, releasing the inner ear, releasing the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Okay, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Just bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have the feet apart, the knees together. And then gently roll onto your side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just come into cross legs, just hold onto your knees, just observing the energy you have released through your relaxation so far. Okay, just move your bolster out from underneath your knees, and then if you've got an oblong bolster, use that. If you haven't, then fold your blanket over again, and then this is going to sit in your armpit chest as you lie over to the side. Have a block for your head. So you're just going to use oblong bolster. A tubular bolster is usually too bulky for this. It was a bit uncomfortable. Yours might be all right, but otherwise an oblong bolster. So you're going to sit on your side, you lengthen out into this side along the bolster. The bolster is in the armpit chest. Your shoulder comes down onto the floor. Your knees stay bent. Just rest your head on the block that you've laid out for your head, and then stretch your top arm over your ear. So just allowing yourself just to relax into the floor. Okay, bring your top arm back to rest on the hip, and then push yourself up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs. Just again, just observe how your body feels. That pose really opens up the shoulders a little. Okay, and then come on to the other side. So just sit in on the other hip. Again, lengthening yourself out along the bolster. Just bring the shoulder down onto the block. Bend your elbow. And then again, rest the top arm over your ear. And then again, just rest into the floor. And then bring the top arm back to rest on your hip. Push your bottom elbow into the floor and then come back into seated position. Just again, just feeling that opening around the shoulders, opening around the chest. So we're just going to go back onto the first side. So we're going to go along onto the first side. I'll show you first. Then your arms are going to be together this time. And then you roll over. So your knees stay in position. You roll your chest over a little. Keep the block holding your head up. And then just like a palm tree, the elbows are just at right angles. So you kind of, not like a palm tree, like a cactus. So you're just rolling over. If you need to support that top arm, put a block underneath the arm, but otherwise just let gravity draw the armpit region open. This is a strong pose, so we won't stay for too long, just a few moments more. Okay, bring that top arm back. Just roll back onto your side, have the hands together, the elbows close together. And then straighten out the top leg. And then again, just come back into cross legs, just again observing the openness of your chest. And then just come on to the other side, bolstering the armpit chest area. Have two arms together to start off with, and then leave the bottom arm on the floor and then roll over so that the top arm is just floating in the air. Or if you need to support it, then put a block or a number of blocks underneath that arm, and then just let gravity do the job. Okay, and then just bring the arm back just to rest on the other hand. And then push yourself up into a cross-legged position. Just observing the openness of your chest and the openness of your energy. And then turn your oblong bolster long ways like this. If you have got two bolsters, you can have one for your back and then one for underneath your knees. So it's the fish pose. So you just lay yourself down along the bolster. If you haven't got a second bolster for your knees, then you can put some blocks underneath your knees, or you could just do this without the blocks at all. So you can just lay yourself down along the bolster. If your head rolls back, then have a blanket underneath your head. If this feels uncomfortable in your back, then just sit yourself on another block just to ease out any tension in your lumbar, or just adjust so that the lumbar isn't caught on the lifted bolster. Close your eyes and allow the body to rest into the floor. The pose of the fish, Matsyendrasana, the restorative Matsyendrasana. Just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, push your elbows into the floor, and then just come up into a seated position. Just cross legs for just a moment. Again, just observing the flow of energy that you release through your supported relaxation poses. And then just move the bolster out from underneath your back and have the blanket for your head just for the last couple of minutes. Keep the bolster from underneath your knees. And then just guide yourself down onto the floor. Just resting down on the floor. Just for the last couple of minutes. Letting go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Go of the muscles around the chest and the abdomen and the neck. Release in the inner ear. Allow your brain cells to move from the front of the brain down towards the base of the skull. Just observe that lightness of energy that radiates from the bones and into the muscles. Into the organs. And into the flesh and the skin. Okay, when you're ready, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, feet apart, knees together, just resting your back into the floor. And then roll onto your side, just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just final cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your relaxation poses. That good, clean, positive energy that valuable relaxation time brings to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. Release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy, given yourself some good positive energy to put into your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.